right, hey, we're back with another edition of the ATL 3 Style Live podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Leo G, and I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to my man on the east side, my man Derico. What up, what up, what up?
What's up, Leo? Boy, it's been a day. It's been a day, my brother. It's been a day. It's been a week. But guess what? We is here. It is the weekend, baby. What up, my boy Banks?
Shout out to my boy Banks over there on the south side. What's going on, Banks?
What's going on? What's going on, Leo? Leo, how you feeling? How you feeling on this Friday? What's up, Derico? How you feeling, brother?
Friday. That's what it is. We're gonna drop. So we're gonna drop this thing tomorrow, Saturday morning, like we usually do, fellas. But we had to go ahead and get this thing popping because we got a lot of stuff going on this weekend, and we'll get into it as we talk about it throughout the show. But before we get this thing rolling, today we gotta pass it over to our partners, right? The people that we're partnering with. I'm gonna pass it over to my man Banks. Let's take care of some business, man. Let's tell these people about Eastlands.
If you want to go out there and have a celebration with your birthdays or your bar mitzvahs or any special occasions, weddings, anything, you want something custom made wood going, check out my man Phil at Eastlands Woodworking Company. Hit that QR code right there. Support my brother. He will hook you up. Anything you want, place it on the wall. Anything, ashtray or a drink coaster, hit him up. He'll look out for you, brother.
Hey, that's what's up, man. For real, hit that QR code on the screen. Well, we'll put it back up at the end of the show for everybody that wants to get what's up, man. But shout out to our man Phil out there at Eastlands Woodworking, man. For real, you know what I'm saying? He's doing big things over there. And also want to shout out our people over there at BZ Natural Beard Spray, man. You know, y'all see Banks over there. You know, y'all see what it is. His is coming in real nice over there. Shout out to our people over there at BZ Moisturizing and Conditioning Spray. Y'all get right with them. They'll definitely look out for y'all. Mention the ATL 3 Style Podcast, and they'll definitely look out, man. It's 470-222-9927. And if you see me, Banks, or Derico, man, ask for some product, man, and we'll definitely try to hook y'all up, man, on site, for real. If not, if we don't have it on site, we'll definitely find a way to get it to you, man. But shout out to our man over there at BEZ Moisturizing and Conditioning Beard Spray. Like I said, Banks got his coming on in nice. When he get it coming on in, then he gonna get that spray, and it's gonna do it, right? Banks is gonna do it.
Listen, it's gonna do it. If it ain't doing it by now, it's gonna do it sooner or later. But hey, look, hey, listen, we tried.
It's gonna do it, man. It's gonna do it for real, man. Shout out to our boy over there at BEC. So look, fellas, since it's not live, we're gonna drop this tomorrow, Saturday morning, man. A couple of things are gonna well, one thing specific is gonna take place, and I know we didn't discuss this, but I want to get it before we do this drink check, fit check, and then we start on with the topics, man. But we got a big deal coming on tonight on Netflix, man. Iron Mike Tyson at the age of 58 is finna tussle with that boy Jake Paul tonight on Netflix as we speak. Derico, man, I know you're gonna fire that thing up tonight, man. I know you're a fan of the combat sports and the boxing. So I know you definitely want to check it out, man. Any predictions on this fight tonight with Iron Mike Tyson and Jake Paul going down?
Hey, listen, man. It's pure entertainment. I can tell you this. All I know is Mike better knock that boy the whatever out. Y'all know what I mean. Knock him the whatever out. I mean, knock him into 2025. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey man, it's gonna be live. That's what's up, man. Banks, you got any plans to check this out tonight?
Absolutely, I will be front and center, brother. Gonna hold my predictions to myself, but I, slickly want to see Mike Tyson go ahead and pull that thing out. Not sure if you guys or you fellas seen it or anybody else out there checked out the I guess somebody did like a little parody of Mike Tyson Punch Out. They showed
Glass Joe.
I guess Joe Glaswell, whoever the player one is, supposed to be the guy tonight, and he knocked him out in 2 blows. So I mean, hey, listen, if it is one of them quick matches, then so be it. But I mean, I'm, what
All right, we'll get Banks back here in just a second, man. But yeah, definitely it's gonna be entertaining. I definitely hope I see
he must have got knocked out.
He must have, yeah, he you know, Iron Mike must have came and knocked Banks out. I don't know what's going on, but
He seemed
yeah,
like he
man.
did. He seemed like he did because I'm just talking and then all of a sudden I'm not talking no more. Here I am,
Hey,
present.
man, that's what's up, though. That's what's up, man. Listen, hey, we're gonna go around real quick and do a fit check and drink check before we get into the meat of the show. We'll pass it over to you, Banks, man, since we don't want Mike to come get you. You start talking about Mike and everything, so let everybody know what you got going on, man, for the drink check, fit check tonight.
Listen, man, it's real simple, man. This week, man, I'm just doing a regular home jersey of the Atlanta Falcons. Nothing spectacular. They did nothing spectacular lately, so I'm gonna keep it real bland. And I'm keeping to my it's not my go-to, but it's one of my go-tos. Well, I mean my main go-to. You know, my main go-to is Duce, but I'm going with the Crown Apple right now, fellas. Just doing it real nice and easy. Nice and easy.
Nice and easy. All right, Derek Cole, look, you look real salute to service today, man. Let everybody know what you got going on, brother.
Hey man, I am absolutely positively repping our servicemen and women of the armed forces, even though it has Falcons on it. Definitely want to give a shout out to everybody that is serving or has served in our armed forces. We salute y'all. Thank you for your service. Andre Rison got your back. And you know what? I don't know if I pulled this out before, but you saw it when you came over here. I'm gonna feature this for the ladies today. This Sir Davis. It should be Ma'am Davis, but it's Sir Davis because it's so light in on my tongue. You know, we done got to the point where, oh, this is Beyonce thing. It's a cute little bottle too. I told y'all this really here for the ladies. But since it's Friday and it's been a minute since we done fired it up on Friday, we can't drink it at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. So I'm gonna give y'all a little toast, my brothers.
All right, man. Y'all see it. Salute. Hey, listen. So look, I got some light work on today, man. Since it's Friday, man. We just getting off of handling our business. Y'all see it though, man. I got the Falcons on. I got the Falcons sweat. I just threw something on because we gonna do it real quick, man. So we all talking about them dirty birds, man. And since we all dressed like them dirty birds or repping them dirty birds, we just gonna get right on into it, man. Kick it over to our boy Derrico, man. We're gonna talk about the dirty birds and what's happened with the dirty birds since we last seen y'all. And what's going on this weekend with the Dirty Birds. What's up, Derrico?
So listen, we all saw the game last Sunday. Well, let me back up. Y'all saw the game last Sunday. Y'all was over here at my house. That was at my house, had me working, so I couldn't really watch the game. But I did see some parts of the game. But this is what I know: ain't no way we should be going into the swamp like that and not score no touchdowns instead of settling for field goals. So that's the biggest takeaway from that game is field goals, missed field goals, no touchdowns, and we lose to them stinking New Orleans Aints, who was on a 7-game losing streak. You know what that means? They got up for that. That was a Super Bowl, and they may not win another game the rest of the year. So we're going to get right into it. What would y'all take on the game itself besides the missed field goals? I want to hear something else besides the missed field goals.
Well, let me break it down to you, Derrico. And I'm pretty this is a part of this bank nobody wants to hear. Um, Besides the missed field goals, and I'm not gonna put it all on Young Wei Koo's foot. My issue is what are we doing in the first half defensively on this team? What the hell are we doing? Like it's every game now. Like it's like okay, we bend, we don't break, we get these running backs, whoever we play, gashes, and then all of a sudden after halftime, oh, guess what? We're clamping down now. That's not gonna fly, man. You need to clamp down all 4 quarters. Okay. All this adjusting and trying to figure out what the other team is doing, and then now you want to play football. That's exactly what happened last Sunday. You got too far behind and you couldn't do anything offensively, and your defense is giving up big play after big play after big play after big play. It's getting tired now. I don't know what is Jimmy Lake. I don't know the scheme. I have no idea. I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of being this Falcon fan trying to justify why my defense is not holding they draws.
Well, schematically, I think there are some issues that we need to correct. I mean, Jimmy Lake has been here this year, and he has to understand that there's a difference between being at Washington and being in the NFL. Leo, what do you think schematically we can change on our defense to help offset the problems that we're having? One, rushing the passer. Two, getting rushed on. And three, this past week, which is something that we haven't been doing, is giving up big chunk plays.
Listen, at this point in the season, we are who we are. I mean, it is what it is. I know people don't like for me to say that, but schematically, man, really nothing is going to change. The personnel that we have, we're running the defense with the personnel that we have. Obviously, anytime you change coaches and anytime you change, like you said, schemes or whatever, you need the personnel to do certain things. And I've said this several times before on the podcast, I don't think we have the personnel to do what we really want to do defensively. We brought Matthew Judon on to be a pass rusher. He's not been able to get home and do the things we would like to do. Shout out to Grady Jarrett. I love Grady, but I don't know, man. I don't know if Grady's a good fit and if he still needs to continue to be here past this season. David Ayamata, I've not heard his name a lot this season. I mean, for whatever the case may be. But, I mean, at this point, at this juncture where we are in the season defensively, we are who we are. We are a back-end strong defensive team, meaning that our secondary is pretty good when healthy. But I think that our front line, we're probably going to have to look for some new people via the draft or free agency next year to come in and fill some roles and to do a better job with getting after the quarterback, man. But we'll continue to do what we need to do. I don't know if there's anything that could be changed at this juncture. I know we talked about blitzing more, but blitzing obviously is a liability. But I mean, we are who we are. We're just gonna have to roll with the punches, man, and hope, man, maybe somebody can get home and do what they need to do. As far as the chunk plays were concerned, I think that was a one-off. I mean, we haven't really given up a lot of chunk plays like that this year. Well, aside from the Seattle game, we gave up some chunk plays, but I know we'll discuss it here in a minute, man. New Orleans was a desperate team, man. So they pulled out all the stops. But defensively, to answer the question specifically, man, I think we are who we are defensively, and we're just gonna have to do what we got to do at this point moving forward.
I got you on that, my brother. So this is the last time I bring up my boy's name, but I just want to ask, at this point, do y'all think it's mental with Koo as far as his foot to the ball to the field goal? That's just a question.
I don't think it's a mental thing. I think it's all about what he can do. I mean, you keep lining him up on the left hash, and he's not good from that hash mark. He always hooked the ball to the left from the left hash mark, which means why the ball's always going so far to the left where it has no business going. I mean, I haven't seen a professional kicker kick it and miss it at that juncture at a professional level consecutively. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen it in college. I never seen a professional kicker do that, which means it's probably he doesn't need to be on that left hash mark. He needs to be on the right hash mark, and he can arc it and hook it to the left and right down the middle. I mean, that's just me. Maybe I don't know too much deep about being a kicker, but I feel like I notice a pattern with Younghoe Koo when he kicks from the left hash mark. He's not that good on that side of the foot on the field.
Well, I will say this, Banks. They can't predetermine which hash mark they're gonna go unless there's something that happens where they can actually say, "Hey, we're gonna move it over." But most of the time, is where the ball ends up is where the actual hash mark
Well, that's
decide
what you need to make it your business to go ahead and finish that previous play on the
who
right side of the field.
who
I
gonna be
mean,
out there
that's
talking
just
about,
as
oh, we
simple
need
as
to get
that.
on this side. So
Listen,
you saying
we
we gotta
know who our kicker is. We need to go ahead and make sure this ball gets in his uprights. So let's go ahead and go to the right
Oh,
side and listen here. It is what it is. You just said it, Leo. It is what it is with this team. So
yeah.
if
no,
Young Wei Koo can't kick from the left side, then
okay.
something needs to change. Something needs to
I,
change. We need to do
I,
something about it.
so Derek,
Period.
so Banks, to your point, I was specifically talking about the personnel that we had on defense when I said it is what it is. But let me talk about Young Wei Koo for just a second. Me personally, Derek Cole, man, we gotta. I give Young Wei Koo a pass on this, and I'm gonna tell you why. We put this man in a lot of situations, and this man has came up clutch in a lot of games for us. Okay, but at the end of the day, if he's in field goal range, we have to figure out why we couldn't put the ball in the end zone, right? I mean, yeah, the kicker is there for a reason, but we still need to figure out ways to put, the ball in the end zone and get 6 points. To your point, Banks, I don't think at the time when we're running plays, unless it's an end of the game type field goal winning situation, we're trying to figure out which hash mark we're gonna line this man up at. I mean, this man is a professional and he needs to be able to do things accordingly. And I get it. Yeah, he's probably been. I haven't looked at the statistics from which hash mark he's better at or not. But he needs to be prepared and be able to go in there and kick the field goal. Listen, I'm not going to beat up Young Wei Koo for this. This man has won us several games. I mean, we cannot beat this man up. And the main thing is, fellas, is we got to figure out how to take some pressure off of him, because it's like, okay, we get within 50 yards of a field goal range. It's like, okay, well, cool, got it. No, hell no. Y'all need to get the ball in the end zone, man, and take some pressure off this man. So I'm gonna give Koo a pass on this. I don't know if somebody was down there rolling chicken bones in New Orleans or something, had that man all shook up or whatever the case may be. But listen, I'm gonna give Koo a pass. Koo will bounce back, man. He's mentally strong. He's tough. Yeah, we left a lot of points out there, man, but I can't put this all on Koo. And he'll come back and he'll be ready to go for this game coming up against Denver.
That's going to lead us right into the next point, my brother. We're going to be talking about this upcoming game against the Denver Broncos out there in cold Colorado, baby. It's going to be chilly out there. Well, chilly to us, 50 degrees. If it's 50 degrees, that's cold.
Chilly to you. That's chilly to you.
Yeah, that 50 degrees is cold to me. I'm sorry. But with that being said, going into this game, this is one thing I know that we've seen this year from this team, that we haven't lost back-to-back games. So that's one point I want to make sure that we stick to, and I hope that trend continues. The other side of that coin is the fact of the coach that we're playing. This dude is 21-9 against us. Y'all know what that means? Y'all know what that means, right?
Yeah, he
gets in our ass. That's what it happens.
He gets off on beating us.
So this is what I need to happen. I need for us to understand the assignment that we don't lose back-to-back games, even though it's an AFC opponent. I don't care about that. Normally, I would say I don't care since it's an AFC opponent and it don't have too much of a good bearing on our playoff picture. But this game, because of who the head coach is on that side of the ball, I want them to win. With that being said, Leo, what do you think is going to take for us to go in Denver and pull out the victory?
Listen, Derek Cole, I'm with you, man. This is personal, man. I do not like. I'm not even gonna say his name. It's I don't know if y'all big Harry Potter fans, but you know what I'm saying, he who will not be named. I'm not even gonna mention his name, right? I'm not. But yeah, this is personal because this dude is back in the league and he is coaching that team. But this game Sunday is going to be a tough task, and I know you're probably going to get into it here in just a second. Denver's defense is very, very tough. Top 5 in every statistical category across the board. Not to mention that you're going to Denver and you're going to play in that altitude up there. The expectation is to win, especially against him, to beat them. But it's going to be a tall order, and you're going to have to be prepared. You're going to have a great game plan. I'm hoping that that Ra and our coordinators have put together a great game plan to kind of exploit some weaknesses so we can win. I mean, obviously, with a rookie quarterback in Bo Nix, they might not be able to score a lot of points. But like I said, where they're deficient offensively, defensively, they have been able to hold this thing together. Like I said, top 2 in sacks, top 5 in every other statistical category defensively, man. It's going to be a tough challenge. Can this team do it? Absolutely. But, it's all going to be contingent on the game plan and how prepared they're going to be going into this game. And I know we got a bunch of injuries, but listen, man, you got to suit up and get booted up and lace them up and be ready to go up there.
Banks, to piggyback on Leo's point about the defense, yes, they are top 5, but guess what? Our offense is top 5 too, so there's going to be a stalemate. So what you think, who's going to give up? Their defense or our offense, as far as this game is concerned, to come out on top?
Derek Cole, my philosophy is always a good defense beats a good offense all the time. Listen, I'm not feeling good about this particular matchup what we got going into Mile High. Yes, they are top 5 in defense. They get the quarterback on the ground. Okay. I think they got like something like 35, 36, 37 sacks and ass load of quarterback hurries. I understand, but my thing is, are we going to run the quarterback? I mean, God, I'm listen to me. Are we going to run the ball?
I hope not.
Bijan and Tyler Algier, are we going to basically run them in the ground? Because that's the only way I feel like, we got to neutralize that pass rush and them pass hurries. I'm not feeling good about going up into an environment like that, coming off that loss, a bad loss at that, and then you got to go up against a bye week with a lot of players probably looking forward to, not playing next week. I don't like how it feels. Hopefully they'll go out there and take care of business, run the ball, do Falcons football, smash mouth football. But if we going out there trying to be finesse and trying to pass the ball over the yard, it ain't happening, bro. It ain't happening.
Unfortunately, Banks, we can't play, the Georgia School of the Blind every week. I mean, look, these gonna be, if you want to be considered a championship contender team, you're gonna have to play some tough teams. And I mean, listen, I get it, man. This is gonna be tough sledding. I don't like this matchup as well, but hey, we gotta lace them up. We got to go out there and do what we need to do. And I'm gonna stand on business and say that hopefully our head coach and our coordinators are going to be very, very prepared about what going against this defense that we're going to face and going against the elements that we gotta face. And we can't just be run happy. It's going to have to be a balanced offense. So that's going to have to put a lot on our offensive lines back, man. They've been really balanced all year. So hopefully, man, we'll get this thing together, man. But this is going to be a tough game. It is, Banks. I agree. It's going to be a tough game.
I'm just going to rely on the fact, again, that how we perform after a loss. And like you said, Banks, going into a bye week, I don't think Raw wants to go out there and let that team lay an egg before they go into the bye week. It's going to be a tough matchup. Yes, it is. However, I still think we can go in there and steal a win. I mean, we just got to go play mistake-free football, keep Kurt upright, and let Kurt go Baines come out on Sunday and not your cousin Kurt from Kirkwood that sit over there on the. With that being said, my brothers, I want y'all to say one thing. Who going to win? Just say who going to win. I don't need a score. Who do you think going to win the game? Banks?
I'm sorry, everybody. I think Broncos got this one.
All right, Banks say Broncos. What you say, Leo?
Hey, listen. With all that being said, I'm gonna fall with you, Derek. Man, we haven't lost back to back this year. I think we're gonna find a way to win this. It's gonna be a rock fight, and I'm not trying to be homer here, but I think they know the importance of what needs to happen. I think by hook or by crook, we'll figure out a way to win this game. I think it's gonna maybe fall on the leg of Young Wei Koo, and he's not gonna let us down. this Sunday. I think we'll win this game.
Well, we've been playing better on the road, so we're 3-1 on the road. And I think we're gonna go in there and squeak one out and gonna be 4-1 after this Sunday. With that being said, my brothers, we're gonna turn this thing over to Banks and say, "Go Dogs!"
You on mute?
You on mute? They can't hear you.
I'm so sorry, y'all. My apologies. Listen, everyone saw the game last week. It was a downer. It was a disappointment game. If you living in Oxford, Mississippi, it was great for you because you stormed the field and you feel like you're on top of the world now. But I will say this, Georgia has been a top pedigree organization where they can go out there, kind of like how we were just talking about how coming off a loss, you figure out who you are and you dig down and you can get that next victory. Fellas, I say to you, coming up on Saturday, we play Tennessee Vols in Sanford Stadium under the lights, and we have a must-win game. This is a playoff game, fellas. Playoff starts tomorrow night for the Georgia Bulldogs. Listen, they have 2 losses in the SEC. And a lot of teams in around the college football world is not going to get in with 2 losses. I think it's kind of a different story with Georgia. I think Georgia has a better resume of teams they've beaten, teams that they have on a schedule. It's going to be one of them things where you have to play mistake-free football. I guess we can all agree on that, correct? Okay, so Derico, I'm gonna ask you first. Do you feel like this game coming up is a must-win, or do you feel like this game is a kind of like a get right for your psyche to make sure to say that Georgia's not mediocre or overrated?
No, you've already made that crystal clear. Every game here on out is a must-win game for Georgia. I mean, they got to win out if they want to get above that number 11 spot, because right now they're on the outside looking in, just because of the simple fact that they had to squeeze one of them non-power 5 teams in the college playoff to make sure that they had a spot in the playoffs. So yeah, Georgia, every week that they play, they got to be playing like they are number 13 on the playoff list trying to get in. No ifs, ands, or buts. Can't slip up. Can't do nothing but win. And if they don't start fast on tomorrow night, well, Saturday night when everybody look at this, it's going to be a problem.
Listen, this is what everybody wanted. They wanted this primetime game that Georgia do not get at Athens. Well, here we are, prime time, and it's under the lights for the whole world to see. Let's see if you have that championship pedigree and go out there and win your football game. Leo, it's kind of the same question. Do you feel like this is a game that they must have, or do you think this is something they have to try to prove everybody that they're not mediocre or whatever?
Hey man, first of all, shout out to Game Day. They'll be in Athens tomorrow, or today as we drop this show. Shout out to my man Cody Rhodes, the undisputed WWE champion, who's going to be there. He's going to be the official picker for Game Day. My man, Atlanta's own Cody Rhodes, man. Shout out to him. Listen, Banks, let me say this much with Georgia, man. Georgia has shown us who they are. Georgia has shown us who they are. We beat a very, very good Texas team, but I say they've shown us who they are because we really don't know who they are. They show up when they want to show up. I mean, yeah, we've had a lot of games we've had to play on the road, but this is going to be a tough game at home. But we have not seen a lot of consistency with this team. So I guess my point is they've been very inconsistent, and that's been the story with this Georgia team. I mean, you lose to Alabama on the road in Tuscaloosa. You go to Texas and look very good and beat them. You go on the road and lose to Ole Miss. I mean, this is a very inconsistent team, man. I don't know what we're going to see tomorrow in Athens at home against Tennessee. This is a Tennessee team, man. Listen, we have beat Tennessee, been beating Tennessee since 2016. Tennessee hadn't beaten us in quite some time, since I want to say that Hail Mary that Joshua Dobbs threw. So it's been a while since Tennessee has beaten us, man. And Heupel has gotten that team together up there, and they're a one-loss team, and they're trying to get into the college playoffs as well. I don't know, man. This Georgia team is very inconsistent. That's the only thing I know about this Georgia team is they're inconsistent. So I don't know who's gonna show up tomorrow. I don't know, and this is making me feel some type of way, man, because I want to say that world beater team that we saw against Tech, they really won a world beater team against Texas. The defense showed up offensively, and I guess Banks will talk about that here in just a second. We haven't seen the offense like we want to see previously, but I guess I'm cautiously optimistic as to see what's going to happen tomorrow with this team, man, and they're very inconsistent. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm glad you brought that up about the inconsistency about the Georgia offense. And I think we can kind of pinpoint now the way we are so far into this season of why is that so. You got folks who why bring back Bobo as our offensive coordinator. I'm one of them. And I'm like, you know what?
Fresh.
Let me take a look at this a little bit closer. I think our problem is under center. And I think we need to realize that Carson Beck is just not that dude. I think he came into this season kind of feeling himself, with all the Lamborghinis he's driving and all the ladies he got on his arm. Listen here, brother, you are not nothing because you haven't done anything. You're just going by, your NIL money that you have, and the supposed Heisman candidate, being a candidate for the Heisman. Maybe no, bro. We can go ahead and throw that out the window. Go ahead and squash that. You're not Heisman contender. You're not. Fellas, I'm going to ask you straight up: is it time to sit Carson Beck? And if you don't think so, do you think Carson Beck will get you to where you need to be in this playoffs or further?
Banks, let me jump on here
Derek
first.
Oh, go ahead, Leo. Go ahead.
Let me jump in here first. Do we have a Carson Beck problem, or do we have a talent problem on offense? Obviously, we saw Carson Beck with Ladd McConkey.
Listen, it's a Carson Beck problem.
Okay. Well, let me finish my statement. Let me finish this up here. Do we have a talent problem on offense, or do we have a Carson Beck problem? Listen, we saw him with Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers do extremely well. We don't have that talent is gone. Those guys in the NFL now. Okay. We got freshman wide receivers. We got, basically a different O-line. And now Carson Beck is having problems. I know you just said it's on Carson Beck. But listen, some guys are only as good as the talent that's around them. And I know Georgia brings in some great talent. They've gone in the transfer portal. They've recruited some good guys. But, I mean, let's be real, man. Is the talent up there around Carson Beck really as good as Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers? Like, for real, I've seen Carson Beck give it his all and put balls right in people's chests, and they still drop them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Part of the blame might be on Bobo, but I don't know, fellas. I don't know if the talent offensively is as good as we've had in the last several years. And I know Derek will probably talk about that here in just a second. But I don't want to put all the blame on Carson Beck's shoulders. I mean, I think Carson Beck is a decent quarterback. But I'm just starting to think now, is the talent around him as good as it's been in previous years, especially last year when, like I said, he had Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers. I don't know, Derek.
You sound like you on the payroll.
Let me say this. No one's gonna be compared to Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers. Okay, Brock Bowers is on another planet as a tight end. Okay, no one's gonna come close to him. Not even the best tight end today in the league as we speak. So that's not fair. That's no excuse when you're a quarterback. You could place the ball where it needs to be, not throwing the ball into somebody else's arms. That's not on your team. Okay. I try to give him the benefit of the doubt of the fact that Georgia leads the league in drop passes. or leads the country in drop passes. But at the same time, being skittish and being real shaky behind that offensive line, which is not bad, by the way. They still the top in the country in statistically in the country the offensive line is, and you still shaky behind under center. That's unacceptable to me. That's the way
Banks,
I look at it. If you're
yeah,
going to
Banks,
come into this season, you understand what I'm saying? If you're going to come into this season as a Heisman candidate, then you need to have some signs of it somewhere, some way, somehow, and
yeah,
they haven't seen it yet.
yeah, and
Yeah, you
I'm
had
going.
Lad McConkey and Brock Bowers, but that's just it. You had Brock Bowers and Lad McConkey. Maybe they made you. And let's make that a think about that for a second.
Boy, you just stole some of my thunder then with that statement. There, sir, good sir. That's one thing that I can say about what my boy Dick Vitale calling them PT peers, them prime time players. If you're a prime time player, you gonna show up. You gonna show up and you gonna show up big. I don't care about the drop passes. That happens. You can lead the league or the country in drop passes, but at the same time, there's something about your pocket presence that makes me just think that you back there scared like a little biatch, and that's just gonna be how it's gonna be today. That's how you look, your eyes. I can look in your eyes and tell that you're not comfortable. You're not comfortable in your decision making. You're not comfortable in the fact that you know that you one mistake away from possibly getting pulled. So to answer your question, Banks, he's not gonna get pulled because he would have got pulled. It'd have been 2 games ago. Kirby's not gonna do that. Kirby just have it in him. And I don't even know who the backup quarterback is. So he's not going to get pulled. Should he be pulled? Absolutely. 2 games ago, he should have got pulled, but it's not going to happen. So that's the answer to your original question. Should he get pulled?
I am so glad you said that because that was going to leeway into my next discussion about Kirby Smart and his quarterback decisions. We've seen this long before when we had Justin Fields and I forget the other quarterback that was that went to the national championship at
Stetson
in
Bennett.
Atlanta. No. Before him. Went to the national championship when we beat Oklahoma. Um, yeah, I forget his name, but yes, I can't remember. But Justin Fields came in the following year, and Justin Fields basically was kind of outperforming him, and um, Kirby Smart didn't play him, and he played my man, and he decided to stick with him, and Justin Fields ended up leaving and going to Ohio State, and the rest is history. What you say? He just did it also with Stetson Bennett and this other cat that went on to, I think he went to, I want to say Virginia, or was it not Virginia? It was Western Virginia.
Kentucky. Oh, okay.
And yeah, I think it was JD. What was his name? JD. Oh God, I can't believe his name. His name escapes me. But all I know is this is not the first time we have seen basically poor quarterback decisions from our head coach. And it's sad, to be honest with you, for you to be such a good recruiter, you can't pull the trigger on what you see with your own eyes that your quarterback is not doing his job. And that's disheartening. You should be able to be the ones like Nick Saban, who be like, you know what, I don't care who you are, you're not getting the job done. I'm about to sit you, brother. Plain and simple. You don't do that, and you gonna make these press conferences. I still believe in them. Yeah, I'm gonna start to lose faith in you too. So hey, so Derico, I would look at you and say you're right about he's not going to move on with Carson Beck. We just got to deal with him until the next year, I guess. Fellas, I feel like the questions for both of you guys. If he's here or not, do you see Carson Beck moving this team forward? They need to be. I mean, that's just an ultimate question. Are they going to the playoffs and beyond, or this is going to be a one and done kind of thing?
If we depending on Carson Beck and Mike Bobo, he's going to be one and done. And that's just simple as I'm going to put it. I'm not going to elaborate. It's just going to be one and done if they make the playoffs. If we depending on Mike Bobo and Carson Beck.
And listen, man, Kirby is there every day. This is the question that we got to ask ourselves: is who's ever behind Carson Beck? Does anybody have any faith in him? I mean, obviously, man, we know that Kirby is loyal to who he has under center. We saw that with Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett was able to win us 2 national championships. And obviously, he's sticking with Carson Beck for a reason. But my thing is, unfortunately, I'm sorry, I don't know who's behind Carson Beck. But I mean, Carson Beck sees this guy. I mean,
That's the
Kirby sees.
problem, Leo.
I mean, listen, I mean, Kirby sees this guy every day. And I mean, if he doesn't have any faith in pulling Carson and putting him in, then that should tell us something.
Oh,
Or,
we already said
yeah,
that he wasn't
but,
gonna do it
yeah,
because
well, yeah,
if we can't figure out who the backup is, we know that the backup probably ain't worth the squat. So you
exactly.
stuck.
Exactly. So, and that goes to my original point with the talent, just period. And the talent up there at Georgia, man. I mean, are we, are we as good as are we as really good as we thought we were? I mean, defensively, that game against Texas was probably one of the best games I've seen in college football this year. I've seen a team play defensively, but offensively, man, I have not seen Georgia put together a great game. And like I said, we've had a lot of new faces, in skill positions out there. So, just to say my phrase again, it is what it is. I mean, whether Carson Beck is under center or not, I mean, I just don't know if, from a talent standpoint, if we're all together. Now, yes, I'm not gonna rule out that Bobo has is very culpable in this. He needs some accountability because I think that his play calling has been suspect, and I really just don't care for Bobo as an offense coordinator. To be honest with you, full transparency, I wasn't a fan of him as a quarterback at Georgia, but that's a whole nother conversation.
I want
But
to
I
fan
mean,
of
at
him.
this
I'm going all the way back there.
well, listen, at this point and at this juncture in the season, man, we are where we are. I mean, I think that Kirby is not going to move away from Carson. Carson's stock has gone down as far as the NFL draft is concerned. But I think that there are just a multitude of problems in Athens right now. And I'm going to say it, man. There's a multitude of problems in Athens that need to be addressed. And I don't know if we can address all of them to make a move and make a serious push, even if we get into this playoffs to compete for a championship. I wanted to say that, hey, as long as we got into the dance, we'd be okay. But there's a lot of stuff going on in Athens right now. It just is, man. I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I hate to say that. I hate using that term, fellas. It is what it is. But
You're
at
gonna
this
use it.
juncture,
50, 11 times a day, so you love
but
it too.
listen, we're I mean, we are what we are right now. This many games into the season, man. Like, I don't know how much changing we could do, especially offensively. Like I said, defensively, I think this Georgia defense, when given an opportunity, can rise up to the challenge. But we know that there's a yin and a yang. The offense has to do their part. And looking at that game last week, I don't know if the offense is up for that challenge, Banks. I know we got to move on, man. But
Well, before we do, I want to say this last point. A lot of people have compared all Georgia teams for that matter to that 2021 team. That 2021 team was special. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna get a team like that ever again. Okay. That defense was something, a dream. I mean, it was something that you woke up and you're like, I can't believe we had a team like that. And it's just unfair for other Georgia teams to be compared to them. That's why they get this way. Well, what's wrong with Georgia? They don't, they can't do this, they can't do that, they can't do this, they can't do that. But at the actuality, they just a regular team. I mean, it's no knock on them. You know what I'm saying? What they're doing now, they're still only a two-loss team in the country. I mean, that's nothing to shake a stick at, guys. They could easily win the game Saturday and be right back in the thick of this and in the playoffs. I mean, a lot of teams not even that. You got 3 loss, 4 loss, 5 loss teams out there that wish they were at what Georgia is right now. But I will say this: moving forward, we had some things that's going on in this city, some special things that are going on in this city. It is not Falcons, it's not Hawks, it's not Braves. Leo, tell us about that team, them 5 stripes. What is going on with that team?
Listen, yes, man. I mean, I thought you were about to say something else. Let me get let me get back my mind right and talk about Atlanta United. Listen, there's something special going on over there with Atlanta United. I mean, fellas, this is no secret. This team is special. It's special to this city. They're the youngest team in this city coming in 2017. They brought this city a championship in 2018, and they've been cooking ever since. So listen, fellas, we just got through 3-game playoff against probably arguably one of the best teams we've seen in the MLS, grace the pitch. We just busted them boys up down there in Miami. Derek Cole, I'm gonna give it over to you, man. We just busted up into Miami with Messi, with Jordi Alba, with Suarez. We took care of business in that playoff matchup down there, and are able to punch our ticket into the semifinals, going and playing Orlando. Man, tell me how crazy, well, not even crazy. Tell me, how do you feel about that, man? Because like I said, we were the last team to get into the playoffs, won the 1-game wild card round, jump into this quote unquote 3-game series against Miami, and now we are where we are now. Tell me, how do you just like where you are feelings wise with this? And Banks, we'll get your thoughts on this as well. But Derek, I want you to tell us how you feel about this.
Vindicated. I told y'all the last time we hopped on the podcast and we talked about that mini EPL team, what was going to happen. I felt like there's one thing I know about people, athletes. They get tired of hearing about folks like Messi, Suarez, all these other people. Like, what about us? Y'all forgot about us. We still got to lace them up and got on the pitch too. We still professionals. We still got to lace them up just like everybody else. So I feel vindicated. I'm happy. I'm ecstatic that they pushed that fake, I'm going to call them plastic, that plastic team out. And now we on to the Mickey Mouse team next Sunday. And I tell you what, Atlanta United is going to continue to shock people because I feel like they are destined to shock everybody in MLS. And that's how I feel. The word is vindicated. I'm just going to keep saying vindicated.
Banks, over to you, brother, man. How do you feel now? Like I said, we didn't talk a lot about we didn't talk a lot about Atlanta United, man, because we just felt like during the regular season, man, that we didn't know, we really didn't know how to feel about them. Now we are where we are now. Semifinals in the Eastern Conference. How do you feel about them now, brother?
Listen, you didn't give this moment no justice, okay? Yes, they started as the number 11 seed. Let's get that straight. They had to have stuff to happen to get to where they were at 9th seed. They went into Miami and they dropped the first game. I did some eavesdropping, fellas. You know, that's what I do. I go to other fan pages, podcasts, just to get to feel the room, to see how they feel about their opponents, whatever. They gave us no respect. They felt like this was a pushover game. It's Atlanta United. It is supposed to be there. After game 1, it was status quo. Game 2, it was like, oh, we dropped the game. Let's stay on the road. We'll finish them off at home. Game 3, we win. They are speechless. They had nothing to say. How did we lose that game? I don't know. How did you lose the game? You guys are the best team in the MLS. How do I feel about it? I feel like we playing with house money, fellas. We can do what we want to do and have no pressure on us. Listen, you went into Miami and you planted your flag and say, this is what it's going to be. And I like that. I like that you didn't back down to them. You didn't listen to the talking heads out there saying that you didn't have a shot. You go to play this next team in Orlando. Listen, the number 1, the number 2, the number 3 seed all fell off. Our side is wide open. Wide open. Why not Atlanta United to be in the MLS Cup? Why not? Is there a reason why we can't be there? I mean, maybe I'm a homer. Maybe I'm just, I don't know. Maybe I need to just
Man,
kind of
listen.
pull the reins back a little bit.
Listen, Banks. No, you're right, man. Why not us? Why not us, man? And which brings me to my next question, man. The MLS set this playoff thing up. This is wild, and I want to get you guys' take on that before we talk about something else. So I'm gonna kind of switch this up. I don't understand this MLS playoff thing. Obviously, when you start talking about soccer and traditionally how things are internationally, you have the way it's set up is top of the table wins the league. Obviously, Inter Miami support a shield, top of the table, set all kind of records doing that. But we know, fellas, that in the MLS, there's a playoff system. They tweaked and changed the playoff system this year. Obviously, you had a 1-game wild card, then you went into this 3-game series into the next round, and now it's win or go home for the semifinals, conference, and the MLS Cup. I'm gonna give it over to you here, Banks. There's been a lot of talk about the tweaks of this MLS playoff system. How do you feel about the playoffs and what they are? Because we know that, like you said, I know you like to eavesdrop, Banks. You like to listen to these podcasts and go on these boards and listen to these other teams. I know there's a lot of talk and a lot of crying from Inter Miami players and fans alike about this whole playoff system and how Atlanta was able to advance because of it. So how do you feel? Do you feel like the MLS was justified in making the changes to the way they formatted the playoffs? Or do you feel like this is kind of weird and we need to reevaluate this again?
I'm kind of split on it, Leo. I know this is not the proper soccer, thing to do. I think this is kind of new to everybody, in the soccer world. A lot of people that I've listened to, not just in Miami. I mean, every team around hates this new playoff format. Before they changed it, I think a lot of people was like they should, stay with the aggregate score and everything, the way teams get the points from getting, fine. But now you go to this 2 out of 3, and now it's like it's not a real soccer. I mean, playoff. I don't know. I feel like keep it simple, keep it to the tradition. At the same time, it's like you trying to bring fans in. You try to win over new fans to see the sport. And I think it's a way for people in this country to kind of gravitate to something like, you got a wild card game and then you got a best 2 out of 3. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching for straws here, but I feel like, going by, filling the room with everybody, they hate it. And it is kind of hard, you go to someone like Inter Miami and listen to their fans talk. They want Tata gone, so it's kind of hard to really feel like what they really, they can't stand the man. And I'm like, wow, wish we had him back. But I mean, that's another discussion. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going there.
Derek, over to you, man. This playoff format in the MLS is just implemented. Another caveat I want to throw out there too, man. Was this a money grab? I mean, I know we brought Messi in, and I mean, this is going to continue to happen as the growth with the MLS. We're going to see more and more star powers and star players, and I know they want to continue and expand the season. But your thoughts on the playoff formatting, and it was advantageous to us, obviously. But how do you feel about what the MLS did with the playoff formatting this year?
My thing is how you go from 3 games to a semifinal game in 1 game, one and done. It makes absolutely no sense to my little finite soccer mind. It just doesn't. Every other tournament that is played, like Banks was saying, there's a aggregate, meaning that you at least go to that person's house, and then they come to your house, and at the end of the game, at the end of the night, whoever got the most balls in the end of the net or the back of the net, that's who wins. I mean, it just is what it is. I absolutely is just dumbfounded that the semifinal is one and done. The only time I'm going to actually applaud this is when Atlanta wins on next Sunday. Then I applaud it because we don't have to play no more. But at the same time, I don't like it. I just absolutely do not like it. And as far as money grab, it was a money grab for who? Messi and his folks? Because I don't know if anybody else is reaping the benefits of that flow. Maybe Miami, but is it really spread across everybody else in the league? If it was a money grab, you would
Can
have
I
more than one game on semifinals.
can I say something?
Then
Can I say something? This is going back to what you said about the playoff format. And I didn't mean to cut you off, Derico, but do you think it'll be much of an issue if Atlanta United would have lost and Miami won and they moved on? I mean, would this be such a big? Because I'm hearing a lot of more noise from that team in pink versus the red stripes. Like, I mean,
so
you
so
hear a couple of people in Atlanta United that don't agree with it,
so
but
Banks,
it's more
let's
noise down there. I mean,
let's address the elephant in the room. Let's address the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room. This was advantageous to the league to set the playoffs up like they would. They did not expect for Atlanta to do what they did. Obviously, they thought that Inter Miami was going to move forward and they could continue to snatch money in it. I'm just be real with it, man. Atlanta United was not expected to be here. They thought, listen, they had a dedicated camera for Messi. They had all these things that were set up to be able to generate revenue for the league because of Messi and because of Inter Miami. I'm pretty sure right now there are a lot of people in the league that are talking and trying to figure out, okay, this didn't work the way we wanted it to work. You're absolutely right, Banks. Everything was centered around Inter Miami and what they were going to be able to do and generate in the league and moving forward. I mean, they're going into this World Club Cup thing. They actually won the Supporter Shield, and they were probably looking at them advancing further into the playoffs and generate more revenue for MLS. But it didn't happen that way. So now they're probably gonna have to go back to the drawing board, man. It's a little messy, and like I said, with soccer, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, especially here in the States where we do things so different, you're gonna kind of have to figure out how you're gonna have to please everybody. Like, you know, like Derico said, our neophyte minds when it comes to soccer are trying to kind of still figure out and wrap our minds around what we can do to please everybody. Because I know it's a lot of people was like, okay, the Supporter Shield happened, it's over and done with. This playoff thing, what is this? What are y'all talking about? But yeah, there's a playoffs, and Atlanta United is still in the thick of it, 2 games away from actually winning another MLS Cup, and we have a good chance of that. 2 more topics before we kind of end this thing. I want to get you guys' opinion on. I know we talked about this in the last podcast, but I don't know. You guys' minds may have changed since then. We talked about Rob Valentino moving forward and getting the keys to this organization and being the coach long term. After them beating Inter Miami and seeing the way these guys have played and responded to them, quick response, Banks, has your mind changed on possibly giving this to Rob Valentino after the performance and what they've been able to accomplish thus far with him moving forward to the semifinals?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't want to make a mistake, going by one series. We're talking about we need a coach to coach us throughout the year,
This ain't a
and
series, man. He came
and
in,
that's
not to cut you off. It's not a
I
series. He
understand.
came in halfway through the season, and we are where we are now because of Rob. But go ahead.
I understand, but I just feel like if we're trying to be better and go forward, like, yes, what he's done so far, superb. I just can't sit there and just say, yes, he's got to be the guy. I can't say that just yet. I don't know yet. If we get past Orlando, come back and talk to me. But I mean, I can't say right now. I just can't.
Okay. Derico, same question over you, man. We talked about this last podcast. Have your thoughts changed about giving Rob a little more thought into being the permanent coach for Atlanta United?
I mean, it tilted a little bit, but I'm still more so, do your due diligence. I mean, don't get caught up in the moment of right now. Still do your due diligence. At the end of the day, if you find that your due diligence leads you back to Valentino, then that's what you do. But no, I'm not just saying you shut the door on everybody else and just say give it to him. No, not at all.
Absolutely. All right, fellas, since we're against the mark, here we go. Semifinals in Orlando. I know Derico's going to be down there next week, 3:30 kick next Sunday. Hey, to go into the Eastern Conference Finals, your thoughts, Banks? Will Atlanta United continue on this Cinderella run against Orlando? That team down there in Central Florida.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Who knew the biggest game on Sunday would not be a Falcons game? Holy smokes. Yes, Atlanta United goes down to Orlando down there and play the Mickey Mouse team and going to win. We're going to play one of those teams in New York, and it's just going to be an epic day. I'm calling it here.
Derek, over to you, man. I know you're gonna go down there to Central Florida to see this happen, man. How you feel about it?
I gotta sleep on it. You know me. You know I get things spoken to me. You know what I'm saying? I was waiting on you to give me my props, but you didn't do it. So I'm going ahead and take it. I called the game. I said that Thursday before the game, I told my brother over here, Leo, I said, in my dream, Atlanta United won. And I left it right there. So I was not surprised. I was absolutely happy and ecstatic. So let me sleep on it, Leo. But you know that I want my team to win. I'm not going to give a prediction, but I want my team to win. I want it to come from, woo, you know what I'm talking about. Boy, look at here.
I
I
understand.
think we're going to be good. I think we're going to be good because you know why? Because we know that we can't stand that team down there, that FOUO.
Orlando. Oh! Listen, fellas, before we close this thing out, let me tell you something, man. I believe in destiny. Man. Atlanta United has come this far, and I think that they are poised to do damage and continue this run and make it to an MLS Cup. I don't see Orlando being a problem. I know Orlando is a talented team. I know this is going to be a tough sledding down there in Central Florida, but I think that this run will continue for Atlanta United, and we will see them in the Eastern Conference Finals, and we will see them in the MLS Cup. I feel that strongly about it. Derek Cole, I will give you your props. You did call it, you did predict it, you did get that vision, and you saw it clear as day that we were going to be moving forward. Listen, like I just said, man, I'm a man of destiny. This team has proven that they are destined to do this. Shout out to our man, Macaroni Tony. You know what I'm saying? 3 goals to get us to where we are now, man. Shout out to him. And man, what a joyous time it'll be.
What's his jersey? What was his jersey number that he always used? That's what I'm talking about.
See it.
That's 3. What I'm talking.
This is a team of destiny, fellas. I think we are on, and the team knows this. Rob knows this. You know, Brad Guzan knows this. It's been playing out of his mind. Everybody on this team is poised and set up to do what we need to do. Derek
I gotta give that old man some props, dog.
Man, been playing on top of his head, man.
He has been playing like a man possessed, and I'm gonna give him his props. He's big, he's tall, he's a mother
wall. Good God Almighty, yes, sir. At 40 plus years old, shout out to get doing it for the 40-year-old. Shout out to Brad for doing it like that, man. So, like I said, man, I think this is a team of destiny. Banks, Derek Cole, I think we'll be having this conversation going into the Eastern Conference Finals, man. And it's gonna be another joyous occasion. And I don't know, man. I got this feeling, man. I got this feeling that Atlanta United is gonna do something special, and I hope we can talk about it, man, moving forward, and just keep this thing rolling, man. Maybe this energy will seep into our other team.
I couldn't even get through, for the conversation. I just wanted to say this statement. I mean, did we break the MLS? Did we break it? I mean, for what you were saying about Messi, and everything supposedly centered around him. Did we just break it? I mean, because all of a sudden now it's like, what do we do now? What do we do now?
Like my granddaddy would say,
Messi in the playoffs anymore.
Broke bigger than ish, as my granddaddy would say. We broke it. Yes, they don't know what to do. And listen, fellas, hopefully we'll bring Reggie on, and we'll bring some of our other MLS people. Listen, we're bringing in more teams to the MLS next year. I just found out today that Paul Pogba will no longer be with Juventus. He's a big player in Europe. I know we're familiar with that team, that name Pogba. Paul Pogba played for Atlanta United, but Pogba, his brother Pogba, the big Pogba, will he's a free agent now. He'll probably be coming over. Another name that you guys may have heard of from Brazil, Neymar. He'll be coming over here playing for that team down there in South Florida. So we're going to see a lot of moving pieces and a lot of things happen with MLS here moving forward. Can Atlanta United put another trophy in the case before we see all of these things start to happen and move with MLS? I don't know. I'm hoping we'll put another trophy in the case and we'll have a lot of fun at another parade. And I just got that feeling, man. And like I said, hopefully all this energy will push into the other teams here in this city to get these things done, man. But I'm very excited about Atlanta United and their trajectory moving forward right now, trying to get another championship. Listen, fellas, it's been another edition of the ATL 3 Style Live podcast, man. We hope everybody enjoyed this, man, and we hope we'll be able to come back, man, and talk about some success. We got to get, fellas, we got to get into talking about these Hawks. They've been doing a couple of things here early on with the season with them, so hopefully on the next podcast we'll do that. But before we go, Banks, let everybody know again, man, who they need to holler at, man, if they need something.
Well, you need to holler at my man Phil with this Eastland Woodworking Company. Once again, if you want something special done, your birthdays, your bar mitzvahs, your special days, anything you want customized, ashtrays, drink holders, anything, coasters, anything posted on your wall, hit my man Phil on that QR code, please. Support my man.
Absolutely. Also hit my man over there at BEZ, moisturizing and conditioning beard spray. He got some other products they're gonna be dropping here in just a second, man. So, but definitely if you want to get some of the product, man, hit them up 470-222-9927. 470-222-9927. Tell them that ATL 3 Style Live podcast sent you, and he'll be definitely ready to hook you up with some of that product, man. And like you see Banks, man, his is coming in, it's a good product, man. We like it. We do it. Listen, it's been another edition, man. I'm going to pass it over to my man, Derek, man. Let everybody know where they can find you, brother.
You can find me at the house. I'm off social media for a minute, so I'm taking a hiatus, and it's been refreshing to my mental. But the only one that I do check really is Snapchat because it goes away. So you can catch me on Snapchat at DJ K06. You ain't got to worry about all the other stuff that I be reading. So it just people getting information out there, they life. That's it. DJ K06 on Snapchat. That's it. Until I tell y'all I'm back on social media.
Banks, let everybody know where they can find you, brother.
Find me at Antoine Jarrell Banks on Facebook or Baby Banks 80 on the gram. And shout out to everyone that's been watching us. Hit that subscribe button. Follow us. We get up on here. We do it for you guys. Like I said, everyone that's been watching, I appreciate you.
Absolutely, man. Subscribe, man. Our Facebook followers, our YouTube followers. Shout out to our faithful followers, my man Wes. You know what I'm saying? My man Montre. It's a lot of you guys that follow, man. And leave comments, man. Leave us suggestions, man. We'll love to, follow up. Like I said, definitely. I know need some Hawks talk, man. So that's coming. So we got to get some Hawks talk, fellas, and we'll do that on the next podcast. But definitely hit us up at ATL 3 Style on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. I'm thinking, we'll had this conversation off air about social media, Derico. Also, we got the Facebook page. Hit us up, ATL 3 Style, over there on Facebook, man. You can hit me up on my own personal social media over there in Twitter, X land, whatever Elon Musk call it these days, at Southern Set. Y'all see it down there on my tags, at Southern Set with 2 T's. Over there on X or Twitter, or whatever they call it these days over there, man. This has been another edition of ATL 3 Style Live. We hope to come back to you next week and talk about all of the positive things that have happened in the Atlanta sports world. For the fans, by the fans, ATL 3 Style, and we out.